Hi, I'm TychoCelchuuu. Dodd in Twitch chat says usually I get a ding in the middle of the night when you go live, and then the smiley face with the tongue. Because I stream at odd hours, that's right, I stream on twitch.tv/TychoCelchuuu. If you watch my YouTube videos regularly, I bet you're tired of hearing that, but somebody posted on one of my videos a while ago, Tycho, I don't even use Twitch, but you whine at me enough in the YouTube videos, so I followed you on Twitch. And that, my friends, is exactly the kind of response I want to get from viewers who tune in for things like this game on Colony Firma Winter between Stuve, I almost said Steve, classic rookie mistake, calling Stuve Steve. Kind of motherfucker called Stuve Steve, not this motherfucker. Playing as the OKW with 3 doctrines, one of which is funny. The Firestorm Doctrine is funny. And Lima Oscar Mike, playing as the Americans, who I'm sure you recognize from some earlier shoutcasts. If you don't, then I may be wrong, or you may not have simply watched them all. I totally understand. To be perfectly honest, I only watch about half of them. The other half I pay somebody to do who has a voice very similar to me, and it gets pretty expensive, but I tell you, it saves a lot of time. On my part, not on the guy's part. Marcus for duty? Is that what they just said? The guy named Marcus is on duty? Duty is a funny word, because it means obligation. So we have 2 Volksverdeers, a 3rd Volksverdeer coming out, and only 2 Riflemen. Oh, just kidding, here's the 3rd Rifleman. I was like, what? What is the United States player saving for? We have some sort of interesting strategy. That manpower is being banked for nefarious purposes, the likes of which we've never seen. But nope. Nope, the United States player is just a piece of shit and was 5 seconds late clicking the Rifleman. So let's check the doctrines of this piece of shit. Heavy Cav. Armor Company. Man, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen Armor Company. When's the last time you saw Armor Company? Don't actually tell me, I don't care. And Mechanized Company. Oof, it's like the Armored Company for people who are, like, cool. Man, what kind of motherfucker would get Armor Company when they're gonna Mechanized Company? It's like Armor Company, but like Pacific Rim. Get it? Because they're mechs. Are they called mechs in Pacific Rim? I think they're called Jaegers, right? Like a Jaeger Commando or a Jaeger Light Infantry. Okay, first fight. Rifleman about to get flanked by Sturmpioneers. And also they're in green cover versus the house. Sturmpioneers take the church. Good choice, and oof, some good damage on the Rifleman. Probably a result of that red cover. And OKW handily wins that engagement. Got some damage, got some positioning, and now it's time to hop out of these buildings, hop over the fences, and hop into the VP capture point. Here's a skirmish. How did these guys lose a guy? I mean, they must have been finding the Volksverdeers while I wasn't watching. Anyways, Mechanized Company, the cool version of Armored Company, has been picked, and that's so we can get a little Jeep, a little military truck. Is that what it's called? A military truck? What makes a truck a military truck? I guess just being in the military qualifies you, right? I feel like military truck is a little over the top for this game. Clearly everything is military. We don't have to say like military tank or military soldiers. They're just tanks, right? Clearly this is the military context. But I don't know. That must be what it was called in the past. Anyways, now it's got a 50 cal, so let's go. Drive this thing. What is going on? It was invisible for a while. Now it's here. I should be watching this fight. Nope, it doesn't matter. They're dead. Whoa! What is they're shooting at the Sturmpioneers in that little shack. Behind the shack now. Good gravy. What's even going on? This is, you never see this. I'm excited. Here we go. This could do some, yeah, this could do some real good damage. They're on red cover. They're trying to Faust clearly, but I don't know if that's worth it. Half damage. Yeah, there's no, look at this. They're getting fucking owned. Oh, there is green cover, though. That wire turns out to be 100% useless if your opponent can just stand in green cover anyways, and I'm surprised the Jeep didn't chase. I guess that maybe turns out to have been a good choice because this other folk squad showed up, but if you lose the Jeep anyways, nope, it's still alive. Whoop. Whoop. Okay, it's dead. Yeah, I mean, maybe the plan was you save the Jeep. And so that way it doesn't make sense to chase this and lose the Jeep. But, you know, United States player did not get any squads for that. What is happening? My game was pausing for a sec. Didn't get any squads for that. Oh, the Jeep actually doesn't cost fuel. That's pretty... Maybe that's not bad. How many They killed... How many did they kill? These things cost 25. They killed 4, so that's 100 manpower. That's not a terrible trade. Dada says, wasn't the Kugel designed for industrial and agricultural use? How much it cost a 50 cal upgrade? That's a good point. I don't know. Probably like 45 munitions. 50 munitions, something like that. We may never know. Somebody can Google it. Ooh, we have an AA half-track coming out from the OKW and a lieutenant tech from the United States. So we'll have to see how the United States deals with the AT half-track. We don't even have Vet 1 on any of these rifle squads, which means we don't yet have AT grenades. No Vet 1 on the lieutenant, so no smoke grenades. No, you don't get smoke grenades. What the fuck am I talking about? You upgrade smoke grenades. Man, Relic really fucked that up. I don't know if they fucked it up. They really changed it when they took away the smoke grenades from the riflemen. That's an interesting change. Anyways, AA half-tracks here. It's ready to go. And the United States player only has a 50 cal, which, to be fair, has armor-piercing rounds at Vet 0, so it could fuck up the AA half-track. But will it? The answer is no. I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, and that's the end of that squad. So, United States player has lost a Jeep, they've lost a Rifleman, and tech-wise, they're at Lieutenant, which is not a great tier to fight the AA half-track. If you look at what you get, there's not a lot at the Lieutenant tier that's going to do a great job versus this thing, which I really want to see in action, but I guess I ought to be watching these other fights. Is there an incendiary grenade in here? Keep your eye on the machine gun health bar in the upper right. We'll have to see how that incendiary grenade does versus it. Oh, they're hopping out. Okay. So they're not going to get to pop their armor-piercing rounds this time. If they get caught riding dirty, that'd be bad. If they hop in the building, probably the AA half-track fights it out. I don't know. Ooh, not if it doesn't have range. This is not good. Do they have range? Does anyone have sight? Oh, well, here we go. That answers that question. 50% up, and he's getting ready to shoot. Oh, and he's reloading. Bad timing. Are they popping AT rounds? Oh, they popped it. I said it wouldn't have. Jesus. Terrible prediction on my part. It's 100% happening. And no, wrong direction. Drive the other direction. Woo! That guy was going for it. He tried to make a break for it. He tried to escape the confines of his video game, but it's not happening. He took the red pill, and then he took the blue pill. And you don't take both pills, or you end up like this. So that was nearly dire for the OKW, actually. The AP rounds did very well, but we had a nice flank from the Foxgrenadiers with the incendiary grenade, and that pushed out the machine gun. This is brutal. Also, the OKW has the cutoff. You should pay attention to that on the minimap while we watch. Motherfucker. He's gone. Okay, well, good. Now this says it's front armor facing, which is what you want. It's getting repaired, which is what you want. And the United States player can't do anything, and the house is going to collapse soon. Okay, well, here's the machine gun. Armor. Oh, it's facing the wrong way. Gotta reface, because they're fucking idiots. Are they going to shoot these Foxgrenadiers? Oh, it looks like that's what they're going to... Oh, nope, they refaced. As soon as you pop AP rounds, it's just going to reverse. What are you doing? AP rounds have been popped. Oh, wait. I forgot. These guys get a bazooka when you upgrade this thing? No, you don't. They clearly bought it at the base. We have weapon racks, don't we? We must have. Okay. Well, you learn something new every day. That could have been really key had that bazooka knocked out a... oh, 3 more seconds on the don't drive back in. Had the bazooka knocked out the engine. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. I feel like once you have the bazooka, that should be enough to scare away the AA half-track. Or at least wait to see what it does against the bazooka before you pop the armor-piercing rounds, because you can't keep throwing munitions away like this. You should save the munitions for bazookas. Give more people bazookas. A mortar. Okay, well, the US mortar is great. Everyone knows that, but don't know if it's what you need right now. I feel like what you need right now is something to kill this. Which, to be fair, this has 0 kills, so I don't know why I'm focusing so much on this, why I'm making such a big deal of it. It has no kills. It's done very little, except scare the United States player, who's also doing some good capping up here. Oh boy. Lieutenant's gonna have to bug out of there. Where's the shells going? On the church? Oh, on the machine gun. That's a choice. It's a good choice, too. I shouldn't have just said that's a choice. Usually you say that's a choice to understatement, so like... because you can't say anything nice. That's clearly not what's going on. What is Mechanized Company good for? Is it just the M4A3? Are any of these things good? I mean, you can recycle them, so I guess... Wait, you can't recycle them, can you? That's the other thing that lets you recycle? This doesn't recycle. I take back everything I've ever said. And then I put some of it forward again, because some of that was good stuff. I stand behind some of that. Riquette, an interesting choice. German player suspecting some sort of United States vehicle stuff. We haven't seen a lieutenant tech yet. Yikes, 2 mortars. We haven't seen a sorry, not a lieutenant. We haven't seen a captain tech yet. So maybe the idea is, oh Jesus, was that? They have 2 bazookas, and that's 2 rear bazooka shots. It just blew up. Maybe the mortar half-track is good or something, says Todd. The mortar half-track's fine, but the M1 mortar is so good that everyone just buys those instead. What was... Yeah, so the OKW hasn't seen any captain, so they're figuring maybe United States is skipping up to major, which is, I mean, possible, right? They've got the fuel. It'll be coming soon. And if they're skipping up to major, then you want one of these. Even if they're hanging out at a lieutenant, you know, an AA half-track or an M20 can come out now that you've just lost your AA half-track, which wasn't the plan, obviously, but you never know. You never know. How are these 2 mortars doing? 0 kills and 0 kills. About what I expected, but we do have a fair amount of indirect fire from the Germans, these 2 machine guns, and plus these like Volksgrenadiers and Sturm Pioneers occupying all of these buildings, so it's not like the mortars are a terrible choice. I don't know how I feel about the 2 mortar meta that seems to be dominating so much of Company Heroes 2 now. I don't know if it's actually as good as people seem to think it is, but we've got it to evaluate here right in front of us. We have 2 United States mortars, and we'll see how they do. Certainly it's a little tough to evaluate because the United States player is suddenly ahead, having killed this AA half-track, so... Dacky1988 asks how much it costs the 50 cal upgrade for the WC51. We've already established I don't have a fucking clue. So no need to dwell on that. And we have some indirect fire of our own from the OKW. This game is heating up. We have an infantry support gun gonna bombard the mortar, gonna bombard the church. Tough to know. I think it's hitting the mortar right now. What is happening? It's definitely hitting the mortar, not doing anything. The mortar's gonna hit this thing. Oh, don't put 2 crew-served weapons literally next to each other. That is asking for it. That is really... Oh no, nice flank. That is really asking for it. Mortar still has 0 kills. I suspect the other mortar has 0 kills. Mortar just died, I think, right? Ooh, stolen United States mortar. This is suddenly looking good for the Germans. They gotta pack it up, but okay, they're out. How many kills? Okay, this mortar finally has 2 kills. In a mortar fight, I bet on the United States, which turns out to be a good bet, because this thing nearly got wiped out. And a stray shell could have wiped it out. Had they stuck around, that would have been very bad news. I feel like I was going to talk about a squad wipe earlier. I feel like the United States player maybe lost something right before the mortar. A lot of stuff going on all of a sudden. Like I said, the game is heating up. Oof, rear echelon squad. Was that the one in... No, the rear echelon squad was in the south. So whoever was in the north... These guys, lieutenant, maybe? Clearly not lieutenant. It's suddenly very hard to keep track of all this stuff. It would help if maybe I stopped panning around so much, but you gotta keep your eye on all these things. Let's take a quick look at the VPs. 399 versus 450. Pretty straightforward. A quick look at map control. If the United States player can grab this back, it'll be pretty even. And teching-wise, where did the United States player fuel go? Oh, major. That's what's happening. It's a major. Oh boy, this church does not have long to live. There's only 1 mortar fire. No, there's 0 mortar. No, the German player is shelling their own church. This is not the plan. I think they just finally stopped. Okay, thankfully the barrage ended about a shell or 2 before those Volksgrenadiers died to friendly fire, which would not have been the most impressive play. Some green cover. We'll see how long these Sturm Pioneers... They only have 2 kills. Wow, that's a very specific construction rate. Tooltip, which I have via the CoH2 tooltip mod, or veterancy tooltip mod, which veterancy description. I can't remember what it's called, but you can download the mod on the internet. Use the Google. I highly recommend it, so that your ignorance can convert into knowledge. And we have Luftwaffe ground forces chosen. How are these 2 machine guns doing? How many kills? 3 kills, 0 kills. We should still be watching this fight, shouldn't we? Man, this fight is dragging on. Their job is just to stick behind green cover and hold the VP until these guys show up. I don't know what these guys are going to be doing. Fallschirmjäger's coming in the south? Fucking grenade. Where? I love those kinds of grenades. On the Raketen, I assume? No. Rear echelon. Wait. Yeah, they have a grenade now. But rear echelon don't have real grenades, so it wasn't that. And it was the Americans hearing the grenade being thrown, so... maybe it was in the church. Where is the fighting? So much fighting. How'd the Fallschirmjägers do? They've pushed off the lieutenant and took no damage. I don't know what happened there. Oof, we should have watched that fight. That seems kind of interesting. I don't know how the lieutenant got out of there without doing any damage to the Fallschirmjägers with his bar. Anyways, here's the major. We have 120 fuel hanging out, so how much for a Sherman? 110 fuel, but maybe we're saving for an M4A376. I would save for that. Why not? You're so close to a Sherman. Why not get the better Sherman? It can have a bulldozer, right? That's so much impressive. So impressive. Much. Wow. Meanwhile, tier 4. Place your bets who's gonna win. I think it's looking pretty good for the Germans. It's just the question of what they tech to and what they do to respond to the Sherman. We still have the Raketen. It's been on the field for quite a while. It's being used for capping, so the German is nothing if not scrappy. But as soon as we have a tank fight on our hands, as long as the German handles that well, I think they've got it kind of in the bag, right? We've taken some pretty good squad losses on the Americans, and the Germans I don't think have lost any squads yet. So, that adds up. Americans are going to win, says Dodd. Dodd is 0 for 1 with predictions right now, so we'll keep an eye on that. We got some smoke coming in. Pretty fancy stuff. Trying to grab that VP. American player realizing 300 VPs. Starting to get a little nervous. Let's not watch the middle. That's not an interesting fight. That's just a major getting fucking owned. A Raketen doing its best to fight against its fellow AT squad, the rear echelon, but it's the Sturm Pioneers with the fucking Panzer Shrek. Jesus, they got the Colt package upgrade. We're able to fight off. So that's some pretty, oh boy, that's some pretty prescient, I don't want to say prescient, that's some pretty interesting prediction from the OKW. Fallschirmjägers not taking any prisoners. That's their first kill, by the way. So that's some prediction by the OKW, and it works. The 76 Sherman is out, along with Panzer IV coming out soon, so I said the game was heating up earlier. Now it's going to be hot, 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 too hot to handle, and not a great retreat for the Fallschirmjägers, I'm guessing. The bar never stops to fire, so it wasn't accurate enough to do some huge damage. Dodd says no I win button for Stuve. That's true. This is the useless doctrine. Aside from Fallschirmjägers. Alright, here's a tank. And here's a tank. Or the Sturm, yeah, the Sturm Pioneers are up here, so if they get a nice Shrek hit... Oh, it won't really matter. These guys are just going to repair, and they can hop out and repair, and the Panzer IV can't chase because they've got the bazookas. Look at these! 2 mines, but they have minesweepers. Very good play from the United States. I somehow didn't notice these 2 mines go down. The United States player must have noticed the 2 mines go down. Or notice them with the rear echelon who are all around the map. So really the German, I think, at this point has got to really want to take out those minesweepers, because that's kind of a pain in the butt. Whoop, well, it took out a major. It's a consolation prize. 2 kills on this mortar. 2 kills on the German mortar. That's got us smart. And 3 kills on the infantry support gun. What is going on up here? Panzer IV moving in. We got an infantry, a real big infantry assault. Some nice smoke doing that. We have some pacifism going on. Yikes. This machine gun can't seem to... I guess it is firing. I was saying it can't seem to fire. There's smoke. There's so much shit to watch. I don't know how the players are microing this. Sturm Pioneers get pushed off from the Sherman. Looks like the German is not going to win either of these fights. Worried about taking a lot of infantry losses here, so just pulls out 3, 4... 1, 2, 3. So they only lost 4 models on these squads, and considering they just took 2 models off this lieutenant, that's more or less an even trade. So not a great assault from the Germans' point of view, but totally acceptable. No huge losses. And then up here it's a stalemate also. And I think this is the right choice, bringing the Panzer IV into the middle, especially because it just fucking owns some riflemen. But yeah, I think this is the right choice, bringing the Panzer IV into the middle, at least to hold on to the VP, because the MG34 wasn't quite doing it on its own, but also because your opponent last saw it up at the top, so if you leave it parked there to try and counter the Sherman, you leave yourself open to getting like flanked or whatever. So best to keep it on the move, make it useful. Is that me or Charlie Tango, says Lima Oscar Mike? I don't know. You actually tell us. But he followed it up with a Kappa in chat, so probably it means it's him? Oh boy, an IR half-track. That's a choice. That's a choice. Why are the riflemen wearing white moon boots? So that is historically accurate. The United States spent most of the war fighting on the moon, and it was later wiped from the history books to give a sort of one-up to the Soviet allies to pretend like we hadn't beat them to the moon. But later, John F. Kennedy reversed course and decided, fuck the Soviets, I want to be first to the moon. But at that point, it was too late to take it back. So we had to go back to the moon and pretend like we had never been there in the first place. Which is why Neil Armstrong is a huge fucking liar. He knew he was not a first small step for mankind or whatever. So like the 18th step. Probably underselling it too. Probably way more than 18 steps earlier in World War II. United States tromping all over the moon. Nice cap block from these. Whoa, Jesus, indirect fire. That was a mortar, I think. Yeah, this thing has 5 kills. So where's the mortar? 3 kills. Whew, United States players probably starting to sweat. 200 VPs is not a lot of VPs. And now the IR half-track is out. Okay. Okay. I mean, now your indirect fire can be super accurate. You know exactly where... Like, if we turn on the fog of war right now... Wrong player. Turn on the fog of war right now. German player is just like, I know where this is. I know where these people are. I know where this is. I don't know why I needed to do the fog of war to show you that. Like, clearly it's pretty straightforward. Shoemine 42 completed, but I was too late clicking on it. We'll have to guess where it went. Where are these guys? Down here somewhere? Oh my god, there's so much stuff to look at. That fight in the north seemed pretty boring. Maybe let's go back and watch it for a sec. No. Fallschirmjäger's doing what they do best, just sitting in cover, probably cloaking in that green cover and getting ready to, yeah, open up on some people who come close. So they don't have hold fire. I would kind of suspect hold fire is the right move here, because you can almost wipe a squad, basically, if you uncloak like this close and just fire at people trying to count the VP. But I understand wanting to be a pain in the butt and not having hold fire on and just, like, owning some people as they try and attack and making your opponent retreat earlier. And yeah, so unless the second Sherman coming out lets the United States player break through, this is going to be bad. I'm surprised. Ooh, I don't know how long I'd stay in that church. I'm surprised the German hasn't sunk anything else into another Raketen. It looks like maybe we're saving for a tank. Ooh, we're teching. We have a tech truck coming out, so we can maybe someday get the King Tiger. I don't know what that teching truck is for. Place your bets now what Tier 3 is going to be for from the OKW. Anyways, unless the second Sherman does a lot of stuff, it's going to look pretty bad for the United States. To be fair, once you have 2 Shermans, I've said this in previous casts, once you have one more sort of Sherman or one more Panzer IV than your opponent has tanks, that's when things start looking pretty good, because that's when you can start overwhelming them with the power of numbers. And it looks like the United States player is doing this. Trading shots with the Sherman. Wait, where's the other Sherman? I thought it was coming south. I was like trading shots with this Sherman, and then the other Sherman swoops in to get the killing blow, which is a good strategy, but instead the United States player is getting their nose bloodied and sending this Sherman up here to try and take the VP, which turns out to have maybe been a good choice, because that is it for those Fallschirmjägers. I guess you can repurchase them. What, they cost $380? They're cheaper now. Stug, says Dodd. A Stug from Tier 3. The truck isn't even set up yet.
We're down to 75, goddamn.
Down to 75. What is happening? Where is the fighting? Oh, Jesus. So, are these guys, they must be trying to get an AT grenade. The rear echelon were pushed off a while ago. They can't get it. Okay, 65 points, and the Americans are double capped. Not a happy place. How many kills on the mortar? 4. So I feel vindicated in saying the double mortar strat is not all that. It just gives your opponent a mortar, which they use to get 3 kills, and vet 2 somehow. Which is very good. Minus 20% scatter, minus 4% barrage recharge. That's excellent. Oh no, how's the Panzer IV? It's limping away. Not good. Blitzkrieging? Was it? I wasn't paying attention. That got fucking owned. 76. The 76mm cannon on the Sherman does not mess around. Suddenly, this is not so good for the Germans because they didn't. They haven't responded at all to the second Sherman. They've just lost their tank. And is the plan just try and hold on to VPs and win like that? Because that's not going to happen. The American player is going ham on these VPs, and it's working very well. That's the end of it, folks. The German player is crumbling. Did not turn that advantage into anything super great. Didn't lock down the entire map. Didn't wipe out the Sherman when they had the chance. Now there's 2 Shermans on the field. Didn't set up any so I should be specifying more what I mean when the German didn't capitalize on their advantage. What I mean is the German could have set up some Raketenwerfers all over the map to be 100% ready for any tanks coming. They could have laid even more mines. Oh Jesus! A airplane just got shut down. No, that's the Shermans moving. All the engines in this game sound like a plane getting shot down. Anyways, the Germans didn't set up a Fortress Europe enough to capitalize. Instead, they just banked up resources. We're seeing a lot of floating stuff, and I think they're paying for it with basically by losing the Panzer IV. There was nothing supporting the Panzer IV, and 2 Shermans plus a rear echelon with a bazooka. Yikes! 2 Shermans plus a rear echelon with bazooka was enough to take it out because they weren't. And now the Germans finally rectifying this with a Raketen of all things, which is a good choice, but it's just would have expected to see it a long time ago. Yeah, there isn't a Stug here. I didn't want to say there's no Stug on tier 3. There isn't a Stug on tier 3. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I always second guess myself because I don't know enough about the game, but I definitely know enough about the game that there's no Stug on tier 3. Where is the King Tiger? Can we see the King Tiger button? I feel like I never get to see the King Tiger button when a player is able to build it. Is there some way to click it?
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
So I don't know. This may be... Now we're at 3 Shermans, which is... Talk about a critical mass. All you need is 1 more Sherman than your opponent has tanks. Right now the opponent has 3 more... Or right now the American has 3 more Shermans than the opponent has tanks. And it's going to have to be Raketen Central. Oh, and a mortar half-track to repair... Or to replace the dead mortar. But also it's a recruit mortar. This is a real quick turnaround for the Americans. It turns out if your opponent just floats like 200 fuel instead of dumping it into anything, you can claw your way back with Shermans. Because Shermans are the best. Dodd says, who gets the Stug then? The other Germans? I don't know. There's a... The other... Is this HE shells? Yes. HE shells loaded. So this is a normal Sherman. Oh, what is coming in? We have airborne assault. Oh boy. Is this going to hurt anybody? I'm pretty dubious about this. Nothing's happening. Does the half-track scouting these guys count for the airplanes? Jesus! The airplanes are strafing these guys. They're right at the edge. That was almost bad. The American player nearly got pretty fucked up. But they're gone now. They're safe now. They're Stukas. Did they just shoot the plane down? Yes. Oh, Jesus! The plane fucking crashed and took out the MG-34. Oh, God, I'm sad I missed that. And this one crashed over here and didn't kill anybody. Dudes, planes can crash, okay? That's a thing in the game. So the Americans down to 51 VPs, but can totally win this. Because look at the map. Okay, that took like 20 minutes to open. Look at the map. American player just needs to fucking jam some Shermans in there and wipe out a lot of your opponent's stuff before all this turns into a King Tiger. Like, look at all this float. German player could have been doing a lot better had they not been floating so much. But I'm assuming there's some sort of reason for the float. This is currently the highest ranked auto match, so these are not bad players. What is going on with this house? Look at that roof. It's like a concrete roof, but it's like see-through here. It's like, that's a glitch. Glitchy as a mofo. Okay, so I'm glad we saw a plane wipe a squad. It's been much too long. A plane crash wipe a squad, I mean. It's been much too long. Since then, rear echelon get the shittiest job of capping the VP under huge amounts of fire, but they're doing extremely well. I don't know how they're doing so well. This MG34 is bad, because MG34s are bad. I shouldn't say they're bad, they've been buffed a bit. They've gotten better over the years, but they're not great. Is this a WP shot? This doesn't have WP. Who's firing the WP? The mortar truck. It's the mortar truck doing it. Those fucking war crime mortar trucks. Mortar half-tracks. Alright, so German player has 300 rupees to come back, and there's no way you save up all this shit unless you're buying a King Tiger. And also, almost... Oh, man, I don't know about retreating that... Oh, it didn't matter! It's dead. Okay, okay. German player's looking better. And the fuck is this? Oh, it's a King Tiger. I thought it... I looked at the thing up here, and it looked like a Jagdpanzer. I was like, don't buy that! But no, it's a King Tiger. Okay, here we go. German player's in it to win it. And they've got the VPs, so German player does not have to be in a rush. They can just drive the KT up, and the opponent has no AT guns, so that's actually a pretty huge deal. If you don't have any AT guns, it's going to be a lot tougher to kill the KT. So these guys have 2 bazookas, but they're only a shell away from being squad wiped. So it's always touch and go. King Tiger's here! Oh, misses its first shot on the Sherman, not going to get a second shot. This thing's got a bulldozer. Oh man, it doesn't even have Vet 1 yet, and it's got bulldozer. That's spoiling your Shermans. Don't give your Shermans bulldozers till they get Vet 1. Otherwise, they're never going to work for it. M10 spam, says Dottie. I mean, I guess that's the plan. We've got one being built, an M36. M10s are not in the video game anymore, but, yeah, I don't know. I guess, United States player can't build AT guns, so... I would maybe think about just grabbing bazookas with everybody. That would, I think, be my plan, but tank destroyer is also a plan. Tank destroyers are really bad versus Raketans, and the King Tiger obviously can fuck them up too, so you gotta be careful. It's for the crush, says Liam Oscar Mike. I know what it is for. I'm just saying don't give it to the Sherman until they have Vet 1. You guys fucking spoil them. They're not gonna try. They're not gonna learn the value and importance of hard work, of crushing people on their own. Come on. Alright, well, that plane did not get shot down. I feel like there is AT both middle and north VP. I end up crush nothing. Oh, so this is Lima Oscar Mike. The real Lima Oscar Mike is in chat talking about what's going on. Yeah, well, there was certainly AT up north. We learned that the hard way, didn't we? With these guys. That was a Sherman, for those of you who have very bad memories. We only have 1 Sturm Pioneer squad, and it's 2 people, so it's going to take a while to repair this thing. Where's the repair truck? Does it have the repair men? No repair men. No repair pioneers. I would think about upgrading that. You never know when you're going to need it with your KT. You never know when you're going to be backed against the wall. Ooh, this could have got exciting. Oh, nope, it misses again. Mortar half-track dropping some war crimes, I think? Or actually, that's probably an incendiary grenade from the folks. We have a double cap for the Germans. That may be the end of the Americans, but the tank destroyer is here. Okay, that's good. See, I told you bazookas are good. Oh no. Whoa, look at this trap. Look at this trap. Oh, if they can't pick it up. Imagine them, they can pick it up. Jesus! Go kill the fucking M36. What are you doing? What are you doing? Go fucking fuck it up. I don't care about your King fucking Tiger. That actually may be the right choice to repair the King Tiger, but you have so much AT on these guys. You didn't know there was a Sherman here, so as far as you knew, it was just a fucking wide open, just waltz down and fuck up that M36 with your huge amounts of handheld AT. Here's the war crime bombardment going on. See, look, it's dropping them to 0 health, and if they don't get shot by the Sherman, they'll be fine. Oh, they got shot by the Sherman, so they're not fine. Man, Jackson really did a number on this thing. Do we have the repairmen? Yep, the repairmen are here. Good choice. Alright, well, 300 VPs for the German to play with, so I wouldn't be sweating too much. It's just slow and steady wins the race. Just grind your opponent's Shermans down one by one, and then win. Step 1, kill the Sherman. Step 2, victory. Oh, nice grenade. Are these guys gonna move? Yes, good retreat from the Americans. Some skirmish in the north. Krat squad down. Who just died? Not these guys. Someone up here, I think. Maybe not. This Raketin has 2 vet and 1 kill. This Raketin has 1 vet and 1 kill. Is that justice, I ask you? Is that justice? No. It's not justice. It's tyranny. It's tyranny, and I won't stand for it. Desperately running away while cloaked. Oop, oop, we've been revealed. That's some good micro. Oh, no. I was about to say that's some good micro they uncloaked. I was lying. They did not uncloak. Manually uncloak. I mean, when you click the uncloak button, you get your move speed back. Alright, well, here's the KT, round 2. It's only got 9 kills, 10 kills, 13 kills so far, so it's gonna have to make its presence felt. Oh, misses that shot on the rifleman. Are these guys gonna hop in the building? What do you think? No, they're not that dumb. Because it's very tempting. You hop in the building, get some shots out with your bazookas, and then jump right out again. I guess they only have 1 bazooka, right? Because they dropped the other? Yeah. It's tempting. But, of course, 1 stray hit, and you're down for the count. So, very risky. Especially when there's no one around to pick up the bazooka. We've been promoted. Who just got promoted? Maybe these guys? No, they've been vet for a while, I think. Hey, Tycho, says the friendly burrito. Hello. Man, when is this for? Oh, it is vet 3, so now it's a 5-man squad. Good, that's what you want for your bazooka holding squad. So they've got more longevity, more staying power. Grab another bazooka, why don't you? While you're at it. I don't know what the falchion makers are for. I feel like this late in the game you just need like bodies on the points, so don't buy falchion makers, the expensive guys. Buy the cheapos. Maybe buy some actually Sturm Pioneers who can repair your King Tiger. That's a 2-for-1 deal. Oh Jesus, what the fuck happened? Oh, ET just gave a bit and said sup. Thanks ET2. I gotta change the noise for that. Oh, well, you can't lose squads. Losing squads is not the path to victory, I feel safe in saying that. The lieutenants fucking eat it on the retreat. What are these scout planes for? Just to see what's up? See how the Sherman... Look, see what kind of AT there is that King Tiger can move in. That's the plan. Good choice. Good choice. Look at everybody running away from the King Tiger except the rear echelon who are like, we have the tools! Wrong accent. I just need to use my normal accent. Or some other American accent. We got the tools! That's not... I don't know what that was. They have the tool. I keep saying tool. I keep thinking there's 2 bazookas. There's not 2 bazookas. That's the end of the machine gun. Woof! That took out the building and the people who weren't in it. That's a nice 2-for-1 special. The King Tiger is a fucking beast! 19 kills, it's about to get vet 1. And it's got vet 1. Unlocks combat blitz, so that doesn't do anything, right? On a King Tiger. Alright, down to 200 VPs. I feel like not too long ago I said 300 VPs. Why are the Raketans... I was about to say why are the Raketans not firing. Now they're finally firing. Yeah, that's the thing. The German player could have, like, way long ago, back when there were 2 Shermans, that could have basically been the German player's strategy. Grab some Raketenwerfers, wait till your opponent drives the Sherman in, and they blow up. But, you know, better late than never. That's how you put the dent in those Sherman numbers. We do have another Sherman replacing it, but a United States player can't do that forever. I guess they can kind of do that forever. They've got a lot of fuel. But the Germans got a lot of fuel, too. Are we going to see a Panzer IV? I feel like a Panzer IV would be a good mix. A good thing to add in the mix. Somebody to flank. Well, you really have to hand it to the Americans. They've been at 26 VPs or thereabouts for a long time, and they've just been slowly taking the Germans down. This is not easy to do, especially when the Germans have falchion makers, which they can... That's not falchion makers. Especially when the Germans have falchion makers, which they can drop behind enemy lines and be a big pain in the ass. Alright, so the 76 Sherman is here. A new replacement Sherman. These guys have AP shells loaded, and they're not trying to crush right now. Crash. Whoa, you don't need to crash. Yikes! Good fucking hit indeed. Oh, wow, that was bait. It was bait so the King Tiger could grab itself a Sherman. Is it going to get it? One more shot. Do we going to see a combat blitz? Maybe we don't need it. We don't need it. Oh, hedges? Boom. Okay, this could be bad. Yeah, this is, okay. No, the Cattenverse get fucking owned by the Lieutenant and the Riflemen, so this is maybe GG. We are going to have an excellent flank going in from the Americans, and that may have won the game right there. Those infantry clearing out the Kettenwerfers. Wonderful play by Lima Oscar Mike, keeping the tank destroyer and the Sherman safe so they can fuck up the Tiger, which has 22 kills in Vet 2 and no longer has anything. And now we have a Faust to finish that off, but it does not matter. They can't even get the Faust off before one of them dies, and that's not good. So that was an amazing infantry assault by the Americans. Saved themselves, but they only have one VP, so the one VP capped, I mean, not one VP in the bank. They have 22 VPs. Is the Panzer 8 available for any doctrine? Says Dodd. No, you can get 2 Panzer 4s though, which is the same thing. So that was a wonderful infantry assault by Lima Oscar Mike. If you're still in chat, good job. I think Lima Oscar Mike is still in chat. He said, I heard KT Kappa not too long ago, so that's good. So I heard the KT in the south maybe, because you can zoom in Fog of War and just listen for the engine so you can figure out where it's going. How about Pander 69 says ET2? No, you can't get that. You can get 10 Panzer 4s, that's 40. And then 15 Panzer 4s, 16 Panzer 4s, that's 64. And then a Panzer 5. Which is a Panther, and that's a Panzer 69. Just as good. Do you think the German player... Well, German player only needs to get 18 VPs ticked down. How hard is that, honestly? Did these guys just pick up their lost bazooka from a long time ago? They still only have one bazooka. Okay, well, what is this? A Panther? Yeah, it's a Panther. Too little too late, I feel like. German player needs to not float as much for so long. And this is, I think a Panther is going to be tough versus 2 Sherman 76s and a Slugger. It's going to be a tough sell. Man, I was not expecting Lima Oscar Mike to pull this off, but he's looking like he's doing it. He's capping the north so it won't even matter if he loses the middle. 2 vet on these guys. Sprint, even. Interesting. Man, 3 kills on a Vet 2 mortar team. They've seen some shit. Oh, those Stern Pioneers are going down. This nice retreat. I feel like the Stern Pioneers should be doing more. They got 2 fucking AT things. A Shrek and a Bazooka, right? Oh boy, here comes Tier 4. There's the Panther round. This could be a dangerous assault from the United States. Tier 4 is not shooting the tank destroyer, so... But there is a Raketen. That was pretty bold. Are we gonna get Tier 4? I think so. Question is, can the United States player get out of here cleanly? This is at half health, and the Panther may be able to hunt it down. Ooh, one more shot. One more, yep, this is... I don't think the United States player is getting out of here clean. United States player is getting out of here covered in... grime, if at all. They're not getting out at all. They're not getting out clean. They're not getting out dirty. They're fucking owned. They're getting fucking destroyed. That was a very cocky attack, and it turns out... I love that voice line. It turns out not to have been the choice because there's a Panther there. One Rakettenwerfer honestly can fuck up your shit if you're a Sherman and a tank destroyer, because the Sherman's the only thing that can hurt the Raketen. Goms, yes, the overextension of the KT was just, he literally went halfway across the map knowing the enemy had multiple... What do you mean halfway across the map? He was down here at the bottom. I guess he was down here. I guess it was a little overextended. He was backing up with 2 Rakettenwerfers and a bunch of infantry. That was not... I'm going to go to bat for the German player. That was not much of an overextension. What won that for the American player was that amazing infantry attack that made it through the German lines, wiped out the Raketens, and the German player just gives up. No infantry left. Boo. That was, I mean, understandable. This is going to be a tough win, if at all. But, I mean, if you look at the American forces, I guess 3 squads is pretty good, especially because they got bars. That's me in 101. This is Lima Oscar Mike. Yeah, well, what a crazy game. I totally had it called for the Germans until they lost, is basically what happened. And then I had it called for the Germans again, and then they lost. So the lesson here is don't float as much as the Germans did. Don't do that. And maybe don't buy this thing, because that was not a good investment.